What's up, y'all? It's Nitty Gritty Sports, where we get nitty gritty into sports. Today, we're talking about the Sugar Bowl, Baylor versus Ole Miss. Drew, start us off. What are your opening thoughts on the game, and who do you like?
Well, I looked at the stats a little bit before this game. Ole Miss does not like to play defense. They have the 102nd ranked defense. I thought that was a key point to definitely highlight for this game.
Terrible. In the
It,
SEC.
yeah, unacceptable. It's just abysmal in SEC standards. But Ole Miss kind of reminds me of like the Oklahoma of the SEC. They like to score a lot of points. They have a lot of weapons on
Oklahoma's in the
offense.
SEC.
They're about to be in the SEC. You know what I mean. But point
Yeah.
is, Ole Miss great offense, terrible defense. I think Baylor's 39th in offense and 42nd in defense, or maybe those stats are flip flopped. I'm not sure. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. Baylor is a very balanced team. They like to throw the ball. They like to run the ball. Ole Miss sucks at stopping both. Baylor's going to put up a lot of points on the board. It's just a matter of Ole Miss can keep up. Which is kind of weird to say. Usually when teams play Ole Miss, it's a matter of if teams can keep up with Ole Miss's offense. But I think it's going to be the opposite of this game. I could see Baylor jumping out, scoring a couple touchdowns, 3 touchdowns early in this game, even in the first quarter. It's just a matter of Ole Miss can keep up with them. That defense has to come ready to play for Ole Miss to have a chance. Baylor's a 1 point favorite in this game, and the over/under. Let me pull this up real quick. The over/under's pretty low in my opinion. It's 54.5. I'm gonna say my prediction for the end of the video. That's just low to me, very low to me. What are your thoughts before this game's played?
Yeah, Baylor's a good team. They put together a bunch of wins, a bunch of big wins. The last couple weeks they beat Oklahoma State twice in like the last 4 or 5 games.
Great
The
season.
last game was a close one, but they got it done. The one thing I like about Baylor is, like you said, they're really balanced. 215 on the ground per game and 215 through the air. So it's really hard to predict whether they're going to throw or run. They do a good job of mixing in the play action and making the linebackers bite on the run and then throwing it into the pockets, especially against Ole Miss. Ole Miss, you've seen against good teams with good O lines. Like if you look at the Arkansas game, the Arkansas quarterback had all day to throw. He could have sat back there and made a sandwich, a foot long. Like he had all day to throw. Alabama threw it up and down on Ole Miss. So and Baylor has a great O line. So I think Baylor, the Baylor QB, the backup, who has been playing just as good as the starter. I don't know which one's going to be playing, but I don't even think it matters. I think he's going to have all day to sit back and throw. And Ole Miss has so many pockets in that defense. They play off coverage, 3 down linemen a lot. And there's just holes everywhere, behind the linebackers especially. Their middle linebacker is a transfer from Maryland, I think. And he's a big dude. He can stop the run pretty well, but in pass coverage, he's just slow, man. He's slow, terrible, missed responsibilities often. So with that being said, I like Baylor just because like the balanced running pass game. Their running back, Abram Smith, my bad, Abram Smith, former linebacker, converted into a running back. He's great at pass blocking, and he got good vision for a converted linebacker, but he lacks the agility and stuff. But it doesn't matter whenever everything's so open, especially with 3 down linemen. He runs hard. He's a bigger dude. And he's coming to lower the shoulders. So Baylor is gonna move it up and down on Ole Miss. It's just a matter of if the Baylor defense can stop Ole Miss, because we both know Ole Miss has a monster offense. The quarterback was in the Heisman conversation before the season. It didn't pan out. He didn't have as great as a season as he thought, but he didn't have, a terrible season. I think he threw for 20 touchdowns and 4 interceptions so far on like 68% completion percentage. So that's pretty good. 3,300 yards, almost 70% completion percentage. They're going to move the ball against Baylor. And what worries me if I'm a Baylor fan is Baylor's pretty good at stopping the run with that 3-4 they run. In the passing game, their linebackers are slow, similar to Ole Miss. And especially if you're going to have 4 linebackers on the field with a team like Ole Miss that is going to get you out in space. Most of their runs are to the outside. They like the zone. They don't pull many guards. They just want to get you in space and see if their athletes can make a play. The Baylor linebackers get bitten on the play action, or they're biting hard on the run. I could see Ole Miss scoring some points too. So.
Ole Miss is a weird team, man. Like if you go back and look at their schedule, Still a tremendous offense. There's no question about it. But there's just some games you just don't know what you're going to get from them. There have been games where Ole Miss will light it up, put up 50, 60, points on the board, and then there's some games it's like their offense doesn't really show up, but their defense will show up, and it's just the weirdest thing to me. For example, Ole Miss played Liberty. Offense struggled, only put up 27 points, but their defense held them to 14. But then you'll have other games like the Ole Miss Arkansas game. Ole Miss won 52-51. I just don't know what Ole Miss team's gonna show up. It's a weird situation in terms of I wouldn't
They're
really
a
say.
young team. They're not used to being good. They got a new coach. They're changing their whole philosophy. So I
I,
think they just got to get used to being who they are. I don't think they're completely comfortable with who they are yet. Give Lane another 1 or 2 years to get his guys in, who he wants to recruit,
yes.
the type of players he wants. Ole Miss will look like a team from the Pac-12. The finals will be like 70-40, and scores like that, which I hate, but that's how Lane Kiffin wants to do it, I guess. So I think it's just going to take time for them to develop into the team they think they are.
Ole Miss is definitely going in the right direction. Maybe another
Sure,
recruiting
yeah.
class or two recruiting class. Like this season was a great season for Ole Miss.
The SEC in general, SEC teams across the board are looking better for the most part.
The record might not show it, but yeah, I agree with you. A lot of these teams, having 7, 8 wins. There's a lot of teams that are looking up. I think Tennessee's on the right track. Ole Miss is definitely on the right track. I think Arkansas is on the right track too. Sam Pittman can keep recruiting and get some good recruiting classes in. Arkansas is going to be a good team. The SEC is going to be, dominant like always for the next, foreseeable future. I don't know what Ole Miss team's going to show up. At the end of the day, we got to make a prediction. The spread of this game, Baylor's favored by 1 point. I mean, it's basically just a pick 'em. It's a 50-50 game. I'm going to go ahead and go first. I'm going to go ahead and take Baylor, and obviously I'm going to take the spread. As far as the over-under goes, what did I say the over-under was? Let me look at this real quick. 54.5. There is no way that this game is under 54 points. There is no way both teams combine for less than 54 points. I'm taking the over, and I think this is a game where both teams hit the 30s or maybe even the 40s. I could just see it being that kind of shootout game. The only way I'd see this being under the 54.5 is if Baylor's defense shuts down Ole Miss, and if that's the case, Baylor's winning this game by 20 points. I don't think that's going to happen. I think both teams are going to put up points on the board. So give me Baylor on the spread, and I'm going to take the over.
All right, Baylor in the over. So I'll take Baylor too, just because I think they got a better defense, balanced attack on offense, and they got a tandem at running back, like I said, Abram Smith, and they got another speed guy. I just think they got the whole package. I think they got Ole Miss's number. I don't think Ole Miss is going to be able to stop them. And Baylor, like I said, they do a great job of stopping the run. I'm going to take the under just because
You're taking the under.
I'm taking the under. Emotional game. It's a huge game for both programs. New Year's Six Bowl, Sugar Bowl. Everybody's going to be watching. Baylor's not used to having all eyes on them, and Ole Miss isn't used to having all eyes on them. So I'm betting it'll be an emotional game, and emotional games usually calls for good defensive play. So I got Baylor in the under.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Wraps it up for this video. This is the preview and prediction for the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss and Baylor will play on the 1st of January. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe and hit that bell. I'm going to say it for a while. These likes mean so much to us, and they're very important to us. So if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Share this with your friends. I think the next video we're probably going to do the Rose Bowl, Ohio State versus Utah. We'll probably get that recorded here in a little bit, if not tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.